Hello again. In this tutorial, we are going to start to get into some of the finer details of disaggregating data. So I'm going to start on the SRG 1920 page, but I'm actually going to disaggregate my data again so that, again, I'm not singling out a teacher's data, but in each one of these reports, thus far we've looked at grades dashboard, in progress student detail, and student level dashboard. You have all of these indicators over on the right hand side that you can adjust. You can disaggregate by grade level. You can disaggregate by department. You can disaggregate by semester, course name, teacher name, period of the day. You can isolate specific scores, gender, race, ethnicity, SPED status, ELL status, gifted status, and honors status. So all of these different things you can apply to the report over here. So I'm going to go over to SRG 1718 for my data again, but the interface, while it may look different, it's the same options. So I taught a primarily freshman course, 20th Century World History, and then I had a Histories Mysteries class, which was a way for students who had failed, who were needed a social studies credit to make it up in a non-flex lab setting. So I did have 9th through 12th graders. Again, the majority of my upperclassmen were in this. But let's say that I'm curious how students with IEPs did in my classes. So I could scroll down to SPED, and I'm going to unselect no IEP and leave that. And so when I look at I'll start with my overall data. I see that in semester 1, okay, it doesn't look like I had any students with IEPs not pass, and had 4 here in the, I guess I got a B. Semester 2, I see, wow, I had 2 students with IEPs earn a 3.5. That's awesome. But I did have 3 students with IEPs not pass this semester of 20th Century World History. We can look down here at the Histories Mysteries data. And then probably a more useful approach is to look at topic score analysis. Let's say I want to know who these kids are. This is where I would leave my grades dashboard and I would move over to the topic score student detail. On your tab, it's called the in progress student detail. So I see that my disaggregating measure of SPED status stuck, and now I've got my, I have my topics over here, I have my student names, and I have what they earned. Another way that we could disaggregate, I'm going to go ahead and undo my SPED disaggregation, and I would like to know how my Latino students are doing. So I am going to isolate that indicator over here. And I'm still on my topic score student detail, so I'm seeing who these students are. So I'm going to go back to grades dashboard. And now I can look here and I see my different breakdowns, liking what I'm seeing. Again, I have it isolated for Hispanic Latino as the indicator. And now let's say I would like to know, I had 18 Latino students at a 3.5 or above. I would like to know who they are. Again, I'm going to go over to that topic score student detail. Again, it's called in progress student detail on your tab. And here, if I want to know who was at a 3.5 or above, now I can add another disaggregating measure of SRG score. And I'd like to know who demonstrated proficiency or above, so I'm going to make it 3 and above. And I'm going to get rid of, for some reason, there are invalid scores. And now I can see where these students, what topics they demonstrated proficiency or above on. If you are interested in grade distribution by race, ethnicity, but you don't need to know student names and you don't want to manipulate these, there is the report that's just to the right of Grades Dashboard that will give you the breakdown by these 5 categories. But from this, you would still have to go through your different measures to generate student names. So as we head back to the Grades Dashboard, I will come back to your view. Where these things are helpful is maybe in a PLC meeting, or you just have a question. I wonder how this type of student is doing in my classes or in our class within our PLC. If there's an indicator and it's over here, it can be tweaked, it can be manipulated, it can be isolated. So you can know how are female students with ELL status and an IEP doing in my classes? How are gifted students doing in my classes? How are Latino males that are not ELL doing in my classes? All of these things can be manipulated over here and ultimately useful in informing Tier 1 and Tier 2 instruction.